All right.
Don't overspend on testing.
Yeah, people spend a lot of money on testing. This is a really big mistake. And the reason why, in fact, I think it's actually a business killer, especially for small businesses. I mean, let's face reality. Most of us have a finite budget for testing, right? For marketing, right? And whether it be $500, $1,000, $10,000, whatever. You know, we don't have the deep pockets of some big corporations. So people get emotionally attached to their product. They really want it to work, and they'll go out and spend $50, $100, $200 for product tests when the data is not, the data they're seeing in front of them doesn't say to do that. So what happens is they blow through their testing budget and they're out of this business because they never found a winner within that budget that they allotted. Or even if they find a winning product, they have so much spent on product testing that the money they make on that winning product doesn't make up for the losses that they had from testing. So I am ruthless with Facebook data, as Michael knows. I mean, I am ruthless. I just go solely by the data, and I don't care if I spend hours coming up with a product thing, because it's so easy to overspend on Facebook ads. And so this is a numbers game, okay? No matter how hard you work on coming with your product ideas, and I actually, Michael, one of his previous, has mentioned several times, I'm very good at helping students or making myself come up with creative new ideas, but still, regardless of that, right? You don't want to be attached, and you don't want to overspend. So I like to do what I call, Michael actually helped me with the name. I've used this method forever, but I didn't actually have a fancy name for it. The $5 filter method, okay? And so what I'm doing with that is I set up 1 or 2 Facebook ad sets. And yes, on $5, 2 ad sets, $10 a day, you're not going to make a lot of sales. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a lot of sales out of the gate. I will raise the ad spend, I'll add more ad sets, and I will bump it up if I'm seeing promising data. All I'm looking for is an indicator that this product's got a good chance of success, okay? I'm looking for an indicator, and that I've realized that it comes down to one data point: CPC link. The number of products that I have seen, even for myself or other people, right? Day one, spent $10, we get 1 sale, but the CPCs are like $3 or $4. It dies. It just does. It's not sustainable. It dies. It's a fluke sale. So I'm looking at a cost per link click on day 1 and day 2. If I'm not seeing that, I'm out. I move on. And it's really come down to the point around $1.70. There's some variance products. There's some variance per niche and some variance per country. So you got to really learn your data. It could be as high as $2, but $2 is very rare. I want $1.70 or less on day 1 or day 2 on each one or both assets, and I kill the assets that are not. And if I don't see that, I'm out. I'm on the next product. So literally, I'll spend $10 or $20, and yeah, I move on.
So let's recap that very quickly. So something many of you probably just picked up on is that Chris has a very unconventional testing method, and he does it with micro budgets, right? It's kind of what I'm going to call it these days. Hardly anybody else is doing their testing on $5 a product. So what Chris is doing here, it's budget friendly, I suppose, based on whatever your personal budget is. Now, I want to get the structure right for everybody, Chris. So you're saying 1 campaign and 2 ad sets with
1 campaign, 1 or 2 ad sets. Sometimes I do 1, sometimes I do 2. But the point is, and by the way, I'm not expecting, of course, you got to use bigger budgets and more ad sets for making sales and driving scaling. And I do that. But what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get rid of the sure losers quickly and cheaply.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that, because I don't think I emphasized it. This is a testing method. This is not scaling. This is testing, right? The idea here is not to make a bunch of sales. It's not even necessarily to get profitable. What we're trying to do is test. You're trying to filter out. That's where the filter comes from. Filter out the losers on micro budgets.
That's right.
Anything that passes the filter then goes on to a larger budget.
That's
maybe for additional testing or whatever. So it's 1 campaign, 1 or 2 ad sets with $5 ad set budget per ad set. And then what do? You let it run 1 day,
1 full day. For day 1, I look at the data. If I've got both ad sets $1.70 or more, bang, thank you very much. Next product. I mean, I'm literally that ruthless.
But if the cost per click, link click is lower than $1.70, it passes.
That's right. Either it can be 1 or 2 assets, 1 asset doing that, the other one not. I just kill the one that's dead and I leave the other one running. Let it go a second day. If I'm seeing more promising data like that, 2 days in a row of low link clicks, okay, that's pretty good. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, so this thing's been running for 2 days, getting cheap link clicks. Okay, let's start adding more budget, or let's start adding more assets. To be honest, I do both. It's kind of how I feel like doing that day.
And is there a certain day of the week you do your testing, or do you just do it any day?
With this kind of low budgets, I don't think it matters. So I just launch whenever. And it's all about, I don't even worry about scheduling for the morning. Now I get into higher budgets like $20 or $30. I will schedule to start in the morning, but for these $5 things, I'll just start it whenever.
Yeah, I'm tracking with you on that. Okay, very cool. So $5 testing method, the $5 filter method, one campaign, one or two ad sets. You want ad set budget optimization, $5 a piece, and you're looking for link clicks, not sales.
That's right.
Link clicks for $1.70 or less. If you get link clicks for $1.70 or less on $5 spend, it passes the test. You move to the next step.
Yeah, I mean, I just had this just last week. Student had 2 ad sets going. They were like $3 or something per link click. They got a sale. They're all excited. And I'm like, don't get excited. This is a newbie. And he said, why? I mean, it's sale. I'm like, yeah, but look at your link click cost. Anyway, so had a little bit of a disagreement with the student, and he really wanted to try to push it. Raise the budgets up to 30 and end up spending $120 some and didn't make even one more sale, all link clicks for bad.
These are those lessons that we were talking about a minute ago that people have to learn, right?
Yeah. So a scalable product, from my experience, has 2 things. Obviously making sales, but the link click costs are cheap. Because think about it, it makes sense here, right? If you're not getting cheap traffic to your website, the odds of this going on and on and on is quite low, right? The odds of it going on and on and on is quite low. And also, this leads into a different topic. It's not on screen, but judging your campaign is, we've had this discussion. Remember, we had this long discussion on this based on ROAS, in my opinion, and you said, well, you're mixed feeling on this, but you could see my point of view, is a mistake or potential mistake. And the reason being is your first few sales through the funnel, right, or whatever, they may take all the different upsells, right? But over time, what's going to happen, more people will buy and buy and buy, and not everyone will take the upsells. And so whatever the upsell average should be, it will regress to that.
Yeah,
so I don't judge my campaigns as profitable based on ROAS.
Yeah,
I look at the cost per purchase.
But it seems like we're getting way into the weeds. We should probably pull up here. I don't want to get too far off track, but it seems like, I think you're right here. You should judge the early success of a campaign off cost per purchase. Yeah. And after you have a decent amount of data, it's probably okay to switch to ROAS.
Yes, that point it is, yes, because you have a lot of data now.
Yeah, and you know, it's basically law of averages, right? Like it kind of averages out. Yeah. Okay, let's pull up from that. I think that's probably way too in the weeds for the audience, and let's keep going. So I think we kind of beat this one to death. I'm going to go to number 2. You good with that?
Yep, we're good with
that. All right. Tip number 2: sell the non-message card jewelry.
Okay, and look, I know message card jewelry is a big thing right now online, right? And it is, but you got to understand. I mean, this is the easiest thing for someone to do. Easiest thing in the world for someone to do. They go in to Canva, right? They design their own message card. They go in, they grab the alluring necklace or the love knot or whatever, right? And they put it up there, and it's easiest thing to do. And if you look, for example, if you look at the ShineOn data, right? They do this polygraph data, and I love ShineOn. So I'm not being critical of the data, but I'm just saying you got to understand, look at that data, and you got to analyze it a little bit. True, the alluring necklace and the love knot are the most popular ones, but if you also go back to Etsy, for example, right, and you look at the listings for jewelry on Etsy, 99% of the listings are the alluring necklace or the love knot. So there's a massive amount of sellers advertising and promoting those, which makes them obviously the biggest sellers. But that also means that they're the most competitive product to sell.
Yeah, totally. I'm totally feeling you on this.
So I always tell my students, be original, be unique. What's your USP? This came from my days in doing sales. I did corporate sales for a long time. We got hammered into our point is, what is your unique selling point? Well, if you're just selling a effing message card necklace with a love expression on it, unless the love expression is really, really good, you don't have a USP. You don't. So, I mean, you got to be more creative. And so let's take a look at the next slides, right? So I'm going to show you guys a couple of products here. Okay, so first of all, the dog tag, right? It actually sells really well. It's just that a lot of people are not pushing it. And it's a lot harder to design because you got to get an actual real graphic made. This is a really good quality dog tag. People will buy it. And just by advertising the dog tag as a present for men, or actually you could even do it what I call, I actually angle products into 2 types over broad categories: evergreen and gift. Okay, these kind of graphic art necklaces can actually be evergreen, right? Look at this one. It says firefighter, right? We fight what you fear. So this could actually be a gift, someone buying it for a fighter, or a fighter buying it themselves, which makes your ability to turn this ShineOn business into not just a seasonal gift giving thing, but actually an evergreen business that you can keep rolling with it year long, because your message on this graphic pendant is not a gift. With the message card, it is a gift. right? So you're sort of picking hold into the seasonal section there, right? And then so the next one. And these pendant necklaces, guys, these are beautiful. Michael, back in the day, we used to sell tons of these.
Yeah, I've designed 1,000 of these freaking things.
These still sell today.
What's funny is when this flashed up on the screen, I went, did I make this one? Because I made 1,000 that looked just like this with the beveled fonts and the gold leaf a mask on it and everything. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So if you look at this is a love message, right? So you can actually on the pendant necklace or if you go back to the dog tag, you can put the same type of message angle on there like you have there. So it's the same message card angle used as a gift. So that's one option, right? Because this one says, let me read this. To my love, when I tell you I love you, and so I'll stop there. But you get the point. It's clearly a message card angle, gift angle, but on the necklace. That's one option. Or you can go back, let's show the firefighter one, or you can do the evergreen angle in which you're setting up something that they can buy for themselves. So this is beautiful. So you got more rope for the type of products that you can create with this. And these are proven sellers from the past and they still sell today, and a lot less competition.
I want to back you up on this. So my first winner with ShineOn was a bangle. And there was no message card jewelry at the time. There was only this stuff. And what I found was everybody was selling the necklaces. Everybody. And I thought, well, I'm going to try to be different and sell the bangle and see if I can get anywhere. And the bangle was my first winner. I'd sold, I don't know how many of those I sold. Several thousand.
That's funny because I've never had any luck with the bangle.
Well, it still was the phrase because the phrase sold on a bangle and a necklace. But the bangle, for whatever reason, really took off. And the bangle, I still think, is a very unique gift because nobody's doing it. It's all necklaces, right? So it's another zig when you zag kind of thing.
Yeah. The only downside of these graphics, because I'm telling you they do sell, and you guys may have your doubts, but anyway, they do sell, is, it's harder to get a design made. So you're going to have to put more time into making a design, or you're going to have to pay someone on Fiverr or whatever to get a design made. But I want you guys to go out and read a book, right? And so I actually, when I first started doing corporate sales, my trainer said, I want you to read this book. And I've applied this to my business my entire life. It's called The Slight Edge. The Slight Edge. And the whole book, the premise of the book is just be a little bit better. You don't even have to be much better. Just be a little bit better. But people in my office were doing 30 to 50 cold calls a day. I made a goal of doing 70 a day, but I did 70 every single day. And I was the number 2 sales guy in the entire Asia Pacific region.
That's awesome.
Just by doing 20 extra calls a day. It wasn't even a huge amount.
You recommended this book last time you were on. I just added it to my reading list. I'm going to knock that out.
It's really amazing. It shows you how just a little bit of extra effort above and beyond what other people can do can make all the difference. You may have right now a message card expression that makes a few sales, got link clicks, but it's just another love not message card. And you take that and you go put the time and effort and you put it on one of these graphic jewelry arts, it may hit for you by just making that one change.
Tip number 3, go beyond the love phrasing, especially in message cards.
So again, I'm not saying don't use love phrasing because it absolutely is a good angle and works. And we're going to talk a little more about how to make that work in this upcoming slide. But I just think there's so many possibilities. And I've done in fact, that you probably should go watch this video if you go search to the archives. We did an entire training on 6 different product angles that you can come up with. Remember that? Love with wit, humor, and all different that you can put on here. I don't have time. This is tips and tricks. This is more of a broad thing covering many different aspects. So I don't have time to go into details on products, but go watch that training. You'll get a lot out of it. Okay. But then here's an example, right? World's greatest father, right? And it's perfect because the actual gift is the watch itself. It's actually the watch itself. And the message card can be anything. It can be something funny or interesting that's going to make the receiver laugh, right? And so it's great. You get the combination of a beautiful watch and a funny message card. If one of my kids gave me that, I would laugh my ass off. Excuse my language.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. Well, this goes back to zigging when others zag. Everybody's doing sentimental and soppy and heartfelt. And if you can do something different, it really does stand out. Like every year, there's some message card that ends up selling a lot that is like just funny. It's a humor-oriented one, and it's because nobody else is doing it. So it causes people to pause, and it's kind of novel in the news feed, and people click through in, they buy it. And you're kind of playing on the same thing here.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago I was teaching that, and you're I haven't seen a win of that, and I'm like, then suddenly it started happening. Remember that?
Yeah, it was the I think it was Christmas of 2020 or yeah, I think it was 2020 was the first humor. It was the first humor message card I ever saw that did well, and now it's like every year. Somebody out there's got some vulgar thing you wouldn't let your kids read on a message card, but it sells.
Let's take a look at another example. This is actually I actually seen this on a message card as well, but I just pulled off the mug. I sold this mug a long time ago. I had success with it. Back in 2016 or 17, something like that, way back in the day. But dear Dad, thanks for putting up with a spoiled, ungrateful, bratty child like my brother.
Yeah, this is perfect for Mother's Day too.
Yeah.
Good timing.
By the way, there's gonna be thousands of people watch this video, so if you go and just copy these expressions, you're probably not gonna have success because a lot of people are gonna be lazy and they're not gonna do the slight edge and just gonna copy these exactly. Come up with your own version, your own original stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Frankenphrase it, people. There's plenty of material out there to Frankenphrase. All right, niche your products.
Yeah, niche your products. Okay. All right. So yeah, obviously people know to my dog loving mom, to my surfing father, and to my fisherman father or whatnot, right? And they'll put that expression at the top, right? And they will have a little image of a fish, and that's it. Then the rest of the expression is just standard fare. You're the greatest father, I love you, or you're the greatest mother, I love you, blah, 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 blah. So all they've done to niche that product is add to my fishing father or to my dog loving mother with an image of a dog. And what I've seen from that is it doesn't work. It's just not quite enough. And I brought up this example because it's really, really important. What is different about this example? I'm going to read this. This is really, really key. This is a strong point I wanted to make. To my greatest catch of all the fish in the sea, I'm so glad you swam to me. Every moment I spend with you is a dream come true. Love, your fisherman. Okay, catch, fish in the sea. This is a brilliant example of what I call putting your niche idea on steroids. They're incorporating terminology and phrases into the message that are niched. This is what makes it click. Every single niche successful message card I've seen out there has this element. So if you're just taking your standard fare loving expression, you're saying to my dog loving mom with a dog image, to my fishing loving dad with a fishing rod, I can almost guarantee you it's going to bomb.
You have to make it cute. Like you have to add in the phrase stuff throughout to really make it pop, or else it just feels flat and cheap.
But if you do that, it works. Right? I'm ready to golf. It's like meeting you was my hole-in-one of my life or something like that. And it's very clever.
Yeah. I'm totally tracking with you on that. Okay, so that's niches. So the big takeaway here is whatever the niche is, you've got to weave it in throughout the phrase. It's got to be part of the whole product. So that makes a lot of sense. Yep. Tip number 4, go beyond the standard flowers and heart designs, especially with the message cards.
Message cards, oh my God, 98% of them are hearts and flowers. And every time I see it, I want to puke. It's not that the hearts and flowers are bad, but again, everyone's doing hearts and flowers. It's like that's the only way to make a message card.
Oh yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Again, that doesn't stand out in the advertising world, right? So if you're advertising on Facebook or TikTok or whatnot, right? You're just another message card, alluring beauty, love thing with flowers and hearts. I mean, your potential customer saying, "Oh, I saw 5 of those things today."
Yeah, exactly. Look, man, what I kind of love about all of your teaching is you're one of the few people in the space that really like hit on the importance of product. And product is everything in this business. All the top merchants know this. And I'm not saying anybody's hiding anything by any stretch, but Chris is one of the few people that really kind of bangs on this drum often and loudly and like doesn't really let it go. The product, I mean, you can't build a winning campaign if you don't have a winning product. Winning campaigns are built on top of winning products. The product is 90% of the whole equation here. And making sure the product is unique and is going to be a scroll stopper and is a little bit novel and something people haven't seen before, it's paramount. It literally is everything.
I have this video I've done on my YouTube and TikTok, and I compare an e-com business to a car, okay? Your website is the frame of the car, right? And the traffic that you're running, the actual traffic, right? Whether it be Facebook ads, TikTok ads, YouTube videos, or whatever method you're trying to get, that's the gasoline, okay? But how many of you would like to own a car that's got a nice frame, gasoline in it, but no engine? How far can you go in a car like that?
Yeah.
And the product is the engine, the most important component of the car. Okay, so these are just a couple of examples that we grabbed that are imagery other than a heart and flower and hearts and flowers. We just put these up there to show you guys, look, there are other designs you can make. Other designs. You don't have to stick to the standard fare flowers and hearts.
Yeah, you're just trying to illustrate, like, think outside the box a little bit. There's a lot of creative potential with the message card. That makes sense. Okay, tip number 5, ShineOn's new stuff.
Yeah, ShineOn's new stuff, okay? Every time ShineOn's got a new product, hop on it immediately. I mean, the reality is, again, most of your competitors, and sorry if people think I'm rude, I don't care. I'm successful in this business, been doing it for a long time, so I don't care. You can come and rude all you want. But most e-com sellers are lazy. This acrylic things will be in the ShineOn group, be emailed to the list for weeks before 95% of the people jump on it. So be an early adapter. You see something new announced by ShineOn, hop on it immediately. You'll have this ramp up time ahead of the mass.
I couldn't agree with this more. I crushed it with message cards back in like 2019. It's because nobody was selling them. I mean, I crushed it. It was stealing candy from a baby. And it was because no one was selling it. I had no competition. I launched, hit a winning phrase. It was off to the races, right? And you're saying the same thing. You're like, jump on these new products before people flood the market with it because you have an edge.
That's right. You have an edge. Exactly.
Completely agree with you on that. So acrylic. Oh yeah. So we got I think this is called the acrylic sign. Oh yeah, you've got it right here. Then we have the puzzle piece and the heart. By the way, this puzzle piece one, let's go up real quick. You're playing on the puzzle piece right here a little bit. You're my missing piece. You've got it here too. You're my missing piece. It just so happens that there is a top selling, what is it? It's like a wooden thing, I guess. I've seen the ads for it on TikTok. It's going viral right now because of Mother's Day, where it says you're the piece that holds us together. And in the middle is a puzzle piece that says mom. And then it's a hyper personalized product. So when they add the kids, additional puzzle pieces fit around mom, and each of the puzzle pieces have a name on it. You can do something like that with Customly, like right here,
that's
right?
Awesome.
I mean, like it would fit perfectly with this. So anyway,
it's a wooden thing, eh? Interesting. Actually, that Michael just gave you a good idea. Instead of looking at what people are exactly selling with necklaces or message cards, he saw something on TikTok that was ShineOn doesn't sell, right? It's a wooden carved thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but said, hey, how can I make that work with ShineOn stuff? You can do that with t-shirts. I just showed a coffee mug phrase that I've done. I could take that. So you could even go look at winning product ideas in other completely non-jewelry related stuff, and a lot of it will be adaptable to ShineOn stuff.
Yeah, look, product research is not a habit. It's not a task. It's a lifestyle. I mean that. Product research is a lifestyle. When you're in traffic, it's bumper stickers, right? It's lyrics to songs, right? When you're at the store, it's message cards, or gift cards and greeting cards. When you're with friends, it's bits of the conversation that move you, that make you laugh. It's like product research is a freaking lifestyle, people. You should always have your antenna up and always be looking not just for new phrases and stuff, but new like ideas and ways to mix and match things and fit things together in new ways.
If you're using song lyrics, which is something actually I do talk to some of my private coaches about, you got to rewrite them. Okay, those are copyrighted material. Do not, under any circumstance, use a direct song lyric. That can get you
100%. By the way, don't copy greeting cards either, like from Hallmark or anything like that. That stuff is not fair game. But you can get inspiration, right?
Yep.
That's the big takeaway there. Okay, let's keep going. Tip number 6, unique new phrases.
This is the key thing, guys. Especially on message cards. If you think I'm a winning message card and you put it on one of the unusual products that are being advertised we talked about today, that's fine. But especially with message cards, unique phrases, original unique phrases is key. I cannot emphasize this enough. A lot of effort into originality, okay? Do frankenphrasing, which is something, Michael and I were doing that back in the day. I didn't even have Michael coined the phrase. I was doing that back in 2013 and 14, but Michael coined you stole that phrase from me.
Hey man, yeah, it is kind of funny how you put a name to something. Everybody thinks you came up with it. I have never claimed to come up with the method, but frankenphrases is mine.
Anyway, yeah, no, I give it that to you. So I was teaching this back in 2013 and 14. I was selling t-shirts on Teespring. Take that, and then Michael came along and said, why don't you call that frankenphrasing? I didn't have a name for it. By the way, Michael gave me the $5 filter method too. You are an author. You're awesome at naming these ideas. I got to work on that.
Yeah. Well, hey man, for you, I'll do it for free. Free 99.
Anyway, frankenphrase. So that you guys know what that is by now. I think if you're watching these videos, you take one phrase from another one, another phrase from another one, and you mix them together. Okay. Another thing to do is take an entire expression and just rewrite it. And what I like to say is rewrite it once now or twice now, take a break, come back and rewrite it again, and then rewrite it again. So you've rewrite it 3 or 4 times, and now you got a different one. And go through them, read them again, and decide which one you like. Brainstorm. I love doing this. I love just sitting down and having a beer and thinking about it. And you'd be surprised. You're just thinking on your own, in your own skull. You're not looking at anything. Ideas can come up, okay? And ChatGPT, right? Now keep in mind, when you're doing message card jewelry, a lot of people are taking the same phrases and putting them into ChatGPT. They're taking the winning phrases from whatever, a t-shirt, message card jewelry, whatever, and they're putting it in there. And ChatGPT is spitting out similar results to everyone. So don't just use that result. Rewrite what ChatGPT, do that slight edge difference.
Totally.
Right? Take what ChatGPT gave you, which is a good basis, but then go beyond that. Rewrite that.
Something I enjoy doing is everybody now is going to ChatGPT and trying to give it like jobs, right? It's like, ChatGPT, you're a top-selling print-on-demand seller, and you come up with all these really good phrases that move people emotionally. Your name is no longer ChatGPT, it's ShineOn GPT. Ask ShineOn GPT, give me 10 phrases. I like to do it differently. I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, your wife just dumped you and you're heartbroken.
Yeah.
Right? Rewrite this phrase now and express your sadness or something like that, right? Like I try to take these different approaches because like back to this slide edge concept in zigging when others zag, nobody is going to buy old, right? Like what I mean is you want tried and true if you're having surgery, right? You want the surgeon has done it 1,000 times. You don't want them trying out new tools or anything like that on you. You want the surgery that's worked for a decade and has had no problem. Same with going to the dentist. You don't want fancy dentists. You don't need new techniques or anything like that. You want like tried and true kind of method. But like jewelry, impulse purchases, this stuff that aren't needs, right? They're not that way. They're not that way. And if you want to move people emotionally, you have to have novelty. You have to have novelty.
Absolutely.
It requires you to think outside the box. There are 10,000 of these types of message cards probably in our feeds right now because it's Mother's Day.
Yep.
If you want to stand out, you got to zig when others zag. You need a different kind of phrase. You got to approach it differently. And anyways, my point here is even in your product research methods, even in your interactions with ChatGPT, even in the way you design stuff, you constantly got to be kind of thinking outside the box. Like, how do I make this new? How do I make it different? How do I make it original, right?
Exactly.
So, okay, tip number 7.
All right, so email upsells. Guys, a lot of people will email upsell like with the product. Number 2 is pretty common, right? Product review with discount offers. So, you set that maybe 2 weeks or 10 days after, your delivery times, right? With ShineOn is pretty good. So you might do the 8 to 9 days after, and then you offer a discount upsell, and then you do 2 or 3 weeks later. That's pretty typical. But what a lot of people don't do is number 1, and I love this one. Upsell them 1 hour after they were on your website. They just got off your website. If they have a good impression of your website and the buyer experience was good for them, they are hot to trot to sell them again. So email them. You'd be shocked. About 20% of the people take the offer. So you can, even if you're selling a low end, you're selling a low margin on a product, you can get away with it because you know that 20% of people who go through that are going to buy the upsell via the email afterwards.
Yeah, that's good. They're still in like kind of buying mood too.
That's right. You know why when you go to a seminar, right? They give you this hard pitch at the end. They got you in the room. You're attentive. You're excited, right? People get a rush and they purchase. Hit them immediately with an upsell. You don't have to wait for the product to be delivered.
I like that. That's nice. Okay. And so then these other ones, product review with the discount upsell. So it's just
pretty common
variation of the email.
That's right.
So you
ask for product review. Can you give me product review? Use one of the product review apps, right? There's a million of them, so I'm not going to recommend one over the other. They're basically all the same, but they all of them have that discount code offer in there, and use that, set it up. And then you can also either do a broadcast, but I like to set up an automated flow, have about 3 weeks after another upsell. And by the way, upsells, you want to do something similar or related to the product they bought. So for every winning product, you want to set up a separate funnel for that. Flows, they call it. Separate flow.
Totally agree with that. If you really want to maximize your potential here, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Then
different flows for each product. But it's not that hard because, guys, reality, one thing is people don't talk about, and the reality is 98% to 99% of the products you test with ads, whether it be TikTok, Facebook, whatever, are not going to sell.
Yeah, totally.
You're just going to have that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 products that are big sellers. And so you set up a flow for each one of those. It takes you maybe an hour of work, and then then you're set.
Yeah.
And you have to do that only on your winning products. And I don't
Yeah.
even set up these flows in the beginning because I don't know what the winning products are. I just test. I'm a student side test, and we find their winning product. Once we find the winning product, then we set up these flows.
Totally with you on that. Okay, very cool. So that was number 7. Tip number 8, upsell retargeting ads.
That's right. So what you do is you just go in and use the custom audience feature on Facebook. The pixel tracks it for you, purchases, and then you get a ad going to those people immediately. So for the jewelry product, you advertise another jewelry product to them. You'd be surprised. A lot of people, it's a very targeted list. So you don't even need a big budget because it's not that big, right? $2, $5.
This one's super clever. I've never done this. I'm ashamed to say. So you're saying right after the purchase, you put them in you basically have ads with a different custom list that you target.
I have an ad going. So for jewelry buyers, I sell not just jewelry, but anyway, whatever it is, jewelry buyers or whatever product it is, I have created a custom audience in Facebook based on that product type. And then I have an ad going to upsell them similar product types. The moment that Facebook automatically, you just set it up once. So Facebook's automatically repopulating the custom audience.
Damn.
So I'm hitting them with another jewelry item the moment they bought another jewelry item. They go back to Facebook, they got another jewelry item advertised to them.
That's clever. I never did this. I feel ashamed.
I'm pretty sure I taught that to you because I've been doing this for a long time.
I don't remember this. I've run lots of retargeting campaigns, but never specific campaigns to people that like just purchase. I mean, it's very clever. It makes a ton of sense.
It's the same thing with the email. I'm hitting them immediately.
That's really good. I'm gonna have to add this now. Okay, tip number 9.
If you're setting up your own funnels and you want to upsell something else, right? Then ShineOn's upsells are within the product itself, right? Within the product that you're selling, right? So the engraving or the boxing and all that stuff, right? But what I'm talking about is different here. So you set up a funnel in which you will sell one jewelry item. So you might sell them the pendant necklace. Then afterwards, you want to upsell them after purchase to the message card with the exact same message on it, right? So you're selling a totally different product. Well, to do that, you need to set up what's called a post-purchase upsell. And there's an app. The one I recommend is Zipify one-click upsell for that.
Yeah. So Chris, I don't know if you know this, but we actually do. You were kind of saying this a second ago, but I want to clarify something. ShineOn actually has a post-purchase app now. It looks remarkably similar to Zipify one-click upsell because Zipify one-click upsell is built on the same Shopify architecture that we had to build ours on.
Okay, then use ShineOn's upsell, but definitely want to take advantage of this.
I will. There are a couple differences, right? Shopify hasn't opened up all the features and the bells and whistles to normal users yet. So Zipify one-click upsell has some special advantages. And secondly, you can sell any product with Zipify one-click upsell, whereas the ShineOn post-purchase limits you to ShineOn products, but ours is free. So you guys make the choice.
Yeah, use ShineOn.
Yeah, this was good. This was really good, Chris. Cool. What's this?
Oh, that's just another screenshot of Zipify one-click upsell.
Yeah. I'm
Robin
so
added this one actually.
It really illustrates how well this can work when you get it dialed in. You got to test here on your back end just as much as you do on the front end. You can sell people into additional message card items with post-purchase very, very effectively. Look at this, 13% take rate on the up, 11% on the, what is going on here? Oh, we're split testing here.
That's split testing.
Yeah. So 13% on this one, 11% on this one, and then the downsell, 20% take rate here. My larger point is it's a great way to boost AOV and give you some additional funds to put back into ad spend.
I mean, just think about what you're doing here. So you're basically upselling them 3 different ways. The moment they purchase afterwards with an upsell immediately. They're going into a custom audience which you're advertising a similar product to them immediately.
Right.
An hour later, you're advertising them again via the email marketing. You want to hit people with offers the moment they buy because they're in a high state.
Yeah. I love that.
This is a key thing. You're in a high state. And yeah, that's a key thing. And I learned that again from doing sales and training and headhunting and all the stuff I did in the corporate world.
Yeah. This is that's very clever. The running the custom audience bit. I should have done that. 2 things always come up whenever I talk to you, Chris. One is the importance of going deep with product research. You're one of the few people, like I said, that just constantly bang on the drum of like making sure you have a great product. And then 2 is that slide edge stuff where it's like zig when others zag, do things that are a little different, try to be novel, try to be original. Like if somebody's only going to go to, you've said this before, everybody starts their product research at page 1, they teeter out by page 4 and 5. It's like, go to page 10, go to page 50, right? It's like, go further, go deeper than anybody else, and you'll have results that other people won't have.
That's right.